Good afternoon and welcome to From Where We Are, stories of news and culture through the lens of USC and Southern California. I'm Jordan Sheldon, coming to you live from Studio B and USC's Annenberg Media Center.
And I'm Stefan Guardia. It's September 22nd. On today's show, USC's sustainability efforts, the latest on Gabby Petito case, and the humans behind the yellow jackets. All that and more from Where We Are.
Last week marked an important milestone for tech company Apple. The iPhone hit puberty. Now a 13-year-old, there's no telling what's to come, besides maybe a bar mitzvah. The iPhone 13 includes new features such as an increased light display and improved cameras. But does the iPhone need to grow up so fast? As modern society becomes more and more technologically advanced, is the annual tradition of a new iPhone necessary, or is it just the product of textbook consumerism? Stefan and I asked USC students what they thought about the iPhone 13, and here's what they told us. What kind of an iPhone do you currently have?
I have the 12.
iPhone XR.
The iPhone SE.
I don't even know.
Oh, I have an iPhone X, I think.
Apple calls it the iPhone that went to film school so you don't have to. How do you feel about this? And do you think you would get the iPhone 13?
I don't feel great about it, but I'd probably still get it.
I really think it's a ploy by Apple just to keep them relevant. I don't really think it's anything that's really exciting, nor will I think it's something I would buy.
I really don't have any opinion on it, just because I'm fine with my iPhone and I just don't need a new one.
Where does the machine end and the selling of our souls begin?
Do you think that the average American iPhone consumer needs to have a Hollywood industry camera in the back of their pockets?
I think that if this technology is at the tips of our fingers, then it forces Hollywood and bigger entertainment industries to do even better.
Well, I think we all have a creative side and we're looking for that kind of outlet. So if there's high-end technology that could offer that, sure.
The camera does not do the heavy lifting. The people and the story behind it does.
I feel like the average American thinks they want to be a filmmaker. So this is sort of another way to market a new iPhone, a new way to say, because they did it with the 11 too. It's like the 11's this with the camera and then the 12 is this. So it's like, oh, the 13, now you can be you can have a career with this phone.
Do you plan on getting the iPhone 13?
No way. Definitely not.
No.
No.
I don't know. I don't think I will, just because my iPhone XR is still working great.
I don't think I would buy a whole new iPhone just for some brighter screens. Would you?
I'm not supposed to say I'm a journalist.
That was Josh Medina, Haley Long, Kathy Thatch, Bruno Koskoff, Ian Kent, Talia Jacknuck, and Max Kranzler. Some pretty mixed opinions, as you can tell. But while I'm still on my mama's phone plan, you can count me out. As you walk around campus, you may have seen new gray multi-stream recycling bins, which are part of President Folt's vision for increasing sustainability efforts at USC. Sophia Sue has the story.
Since 2018, USC has partnered with Republic Services to handle waste management on campus. Now, USC has a new sustainable goal in mind, to move towards the city's goal of 90% waste diversion by 2025. To help with this, USC has implemented sustainability bins on campus. These gray bins require individuals to separate compost, landfill, and recycle. And so far, there's been a dramatic decrease in waste on campus, which is in line with USC's 2028 sustainability plan. Here's Francesca Mugarud, a cinematic and media studies sophomore, on what she thinks about the bins.
Having these bins instead of regular trash cans around campus is definitely doing something and promoting environmentally safe ways of throwing away your trash, more so than just having regular bins.
However, she does talk about what USC could do to further sustainability efforts.
There are also some parts of campus that I feel like don't have them. Like there are just, some regular trash bins I feel like in certain parts of the campus. So I feel like if they replaced every trash can, especially like in buildings where we have classes, like with smaller versions of the sustainability bins, then we wouldn't have a choice except to like categorize our trash.
But students have other ideas on how to get the word out about these new bins. Miles Collins, a sophomore in business administration, shares how the campus can utilize social media as a way to reach students.
The best way that they could, spread more awareness is, stay current with social media. College students always are on their phones or being busy, maybe putting up flyers around campus and making sure that the word gets out there.
But it's not just about the likes and shares. Collins believes we should all be paying attention to these sustainability efforts.
There's no planet B. There's no, alternative except the one that we have now. So it's best that we take care of it.
As the university celebrates Green Week, let's see how these recycling efforts pair with the school's other eco-friendly events.
Go green or go home.
For Annenberg Media, I'm Sophia Sue.
This weekend, the California Republican Party will host its fall convention in San Diego to discuss the future of the party in the wake of an unsuccessful attempt to recall Governor Gavin Newsom. Hao Shu has the story.
We spoke to the president of college Republicans at USC, Maureen Ruiz, about how she felt about Newsom surviving the recall and the future of the California GOP.
This election was, I think, in my personal opinion, a long shot. I genuinely was a little bit more pessimistic about it. So I wasn't super shocked that Newsom didn't get recalled. But I do think that it's going to set up a lot of really great successes for the near future.
Ruiz says moving forward, the Republican Party will need to focus on pulling minority votes.
They're an underrepresented group, and Republicans do need to understand that they also are part of America, and they are also just as affected as these policies.
Ruiz commented on the success of American radio host Larry Elder gaining a majority of the votes in the recall that gave a yes response. Elder has lamented himself into the forefront of California GOP politics since the election. Some have said that he's the future of the California Republican Party, but others, like Ruiz, say it may be too early to tell.
I can't really endorse anyone or say anything, but I do think that Larry Elder was a really good candidate to run to begin with. Larry Elder was never really a full Republican until just this recall election. He was a big libertarian, and I think he's actually really good for California. There's a lot of different conservatives and Republicans out there that are, more right-leaning and that, kind of turn off more moderate votes, but I think Larry Elder is a really good guy to pull in those moderate votes.
Ruiz also spoke of Elder in good spirits, saying that he has a lot of potential in running a hypothetical election against Newsom during his re-election next year.
I think that he does stand a really good chance. He was the big vote during the recall. A lot of people really supported Elder. Faulkner was a second close up for that. So I think that Larry Elder does have a good shot, especially I think waiting out this next year, seeing what happens. We don't know what Gavin Newsom's going to do, and it could really turn off a lot of moderates and conservatives even more. So that'll really give him an edge in the next election.
The convention runs Friday through Sunday. Little information has been released surrounding the topics of the convention. Will Larry Elder make an appearance this weekend, or will someone else become the new face of the effort to challenge Newsom when he's up for re-election next year? Perhaps this weekend will answer those questions. For Annenberg Media, I'm Billy Harrington.
Los Angeles was home to the Primetime Emmy Awards Sunday night, honoring creatives and talent across the television industry. Yet the ceremony received backlash over a controversy that has marred the show since it first aired in 1949. Anthony Robledo has more concerning the ongoing problem of underrepresentation in award shows.
What appeared to be a moment for celebration, as this year's Emmy Awards featured more nominees of color than ever, eventually led to disappointment. Despite performers of color making up 44% of acting nominations, all 12 lead and supporting acting awards went to white actors. This resulted in a lot of backlash online, with many tweeting the hashtag #EmmySoWhite to voice their frustration. Pop culture critic and USC professor Miki Turner said she was initially pleased with the new record until about an hour into the show, when she realized no actors of color were winning. She said the reality indicated that there's still an imbalance among the voters. Turner, who has covered diversity in Hollywood since the 90s, said that the ceremony reinforced the idea that diversity in Hollywood is cyclical. Regardless, she agreed with most of the Academy's choices, saying that 8 times out of 10, the correct winner was chosen.
That said, does there still need to be more cultural diversity in the nominations and subsequently the winners? Yeah, that would be wonderful. But until you change the complexion of these voting academies, that's not likely to happen.
Turner said she's more concerned with the lack of executives pushing for diverse ensemble casts. Award shows merely reflect an industry that lacks cultural inclusion.
You've got to create opportunities for other people, and by other people I mean people of color, to contribute in a way where you don't have to really depend on award shows to validate the work.
Joe Saltzman, a USC professor of journalism and communication, said that the fact 44% of acting nominees were people of color is worth celebrating. He said there's nothing anyone can do to predict the winners or fix an election. Saltzman said there's no way to prove that discrimination had a role in deciding the winners. Saltzman's son, Michael Saltzman, is producer of The Boys, which was nominated for 2 Emmys.
I thought all the shows that were good were nominated. My issue is with who won, but you can't control that. It's the voters of the Academy. What can you do about that? You can complain. You can be angry about it. If I was very upset my son lost. I thought The Boys was by far the best dramatic series, so much better than The Crown. But nobody cares about my opinion. I'm not voting in the Academy.
Juliette Boland, a USC sophomore majoring in cinema and media studies, said that Sunday's Emmys felt like a step back from what the industry has been moving forward. Although she's a fan of Netflix's The Crown, she felt Tobias Menzies' award for supporting drama actor should have gone to the late Michael K. Williams for his work on Lovecraft Country. Boland thinks the backlash the Academy received online might push for change next year.
So I feel like Hollywood and its representation only progresses and improves when people speak their minds and when people make their voices heard, especially through social media.
Julia Elizabeth Evans, a graduate student studying film and television production, said that measuring diversity through award shows is misguided. She added that politics and clout impact the decision-making process for many award shows.
We have to be real about the way that these things happen, or the way that these award shows work and function, and then just realize that there's other ways to measure diversity and inclusivity.
The night wasn't completely disappointing for people of color, as many milestones were made. Mykola Coel won the category for Best Writing for a Limited Series. She is the first Black woman to win that category with her series I May Destroy You, which tackles themes of sexual assault. In her acceptance speech, she dared more writers to escape their comfort zone and write stories that scare them. Producer, actor, and dance legend Debbie Allen made history as the first Black woman to win the Governor's Award at the Emmys. And executive producer and host RuPaul Charles became the most awarded Black artist in Emmy history. For Annenberg Radio News, this is Anthony Robledo.
I'm Jordan Sheldon. We're glad you're with us for From Where We Are.
And I'm Stefan Guardia. It's 13 minutes past the hour. Coming up, the social media frenzy surrounding the Gabby Petito case and the humans behind the Yellow Jackets.
Crime is often over-sensationalized on social media, especially when it comes to privileged groups. Jesse Cooper has more on the recent disappearance of van lifer Gabby Petito.
Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby? Where is Gabby?
The disappearance of online personality Gabby Petito has become an internet obsession, as videos related to her case have generated over 500 million views on TikTok. This case has created a craze for amateur sleuths who often post unconfirmed theories, clues, and discussion threads across major social media platforms. Officials announced an autopsy confirmed Gabby Petito died of homicide, but no further details were given about how she was killed. This weekend, the FBI announced the discovery of human remains consistent with the description of missing 22-year-old Gabby Petito. The remains were found on Sunday in Bridger-Teton National Forest, near the vicinity where Petito was believed to be last seen. Petito had been on a cross-country camping trip with her fiancé and documenting their journey on social media. He returned home to Florida alone on September 1st. Her family reported her missing on September 11th. Authorities named Petito's fiancé, Brian Laundrie, a person of interest, and now he has been reported missing since last Tuesday. Petito's case has become a national sensation after comedian and social media influencer Paris Campbell posted 40 videos analyzing about Petito's case to her 150,000 TikTok followers. The hashtag Gabby Petito has gained over 650 million views on the app so far.
All missing persons cases are frustrating and heartbreaking. But if you fit a certain criteria, then you can make headlines. You can be the cover story.
Before Petito went missing, she actively posted YouTube videos documenting her cross-country journey with Laundrie. But it wasn't until social media influencers and YouTubers Kyle and Jen Bethune realized they had also been traveling in the same national park at the same time and happened to capture Petito's white van on video. They posted their video and talked with the FBI. That also helped fuel the growing social media sleuthing with amateur detectives and true crime enthusiasts circulating internet theories. Like most people, USC sophomore Emma used social media to follow the Petito story.
I first heard about it through TikTok and Instagram. I've been keeping up with the updates and stalking different pages.
Petito's case is also sparking debates about racial double standards in media coverage. Many online users claiming the case is another example of missing white woman syndrome, a phrase used to describe the media fascination with missing white women. Data from the FBI shows that women of color make up 40% of missing cases, but research done by Northwestern University found the media covers nearly 14% of missing black women cases, compared to about 33% of missing white women cases. USC sophomore Yamani Kumar has seen these facts play out in her TV screen.
We do tend to neglect women of color who have similar situations and are experiencing domestic abuse. So maybe one of the focuses that she's a white woman, which is I don't know, a lot of more people can relate to her and will focus on her case.
While most people know Gabby Petito as a character in a missing persons case or a social media personality, Petito's family is still missing their daughter. In a media conference last week, Petito's father pleaded for the public's help.
I'm asking for help from everyone here. I'm asking for help everyone at home. I'm asking for help from the parents of Brian, and I'm asking for help of the family members and friends of the Laundrie family as well.
Officials are searching for Laundrie in a 25,000-acre nature reserve near his Florida home, and the investigation is ongoing. For Annenberg Media, this is Jesse Cooper.
Sukkot is a week-long Jewish holiday, which began on Monday. Throughout the week, Hillel, a Jewish center for life on campus, is hosting events for students to observe the holiday. Madeline Horowitz spoke with David Cohn, the center's executive director, to learn about the holiday and how to celebrate it.
Sukkot is one of the 3 pilgrimage festivals described originally in the Torah. The festival of Sukkot is a way to commemorate the time the Jewish people spent wandering in the desert and the necessity of dwelling in temporary structures called sukkahs. There is a heavy emphasis on welcoming and inclusion within these temporary homes. In modern times, the holiday's meaning has shifted, according to Cohn.
It's really become a week when we can reflect on the value and meaning of shelter, of safety, of building and creating a home, of understanding the fragility of what that means, and of building homes that are welcoming and inclusive and open to all. I mean, the sukkah as a temporary structure has open walls, openings in the roof. I think it's a beautiful symbol of how our communities can be welcoming and inclusive to everyone.
With that said, there are still many different rituals that take place. These rituals go back to the pilgrimage and harvest origin of the festival, such as weaving the lulav, which gestures to the 4 corners of the earth to reflect on the fruits of the land. Sukkot is one of the few celebrations within Judaism where there aren't many denominational differences as to how the holiday is observed.
Really, the observance is to spend time in the sukkah, leshev basukkah is the Hebrew, to sit or dwell in the sukkah. And people make lots of different choices about hosting meals in the sukkah, different kinds of gatherings, some even sleeping overnight in their sukkot in their homes.
Hillel has been offering events every day of the week to celebrate Sukkot. The events are meant to reflect the holiday's inclusive nature.
We have different gatherings oriented towards different groups, different activities, different values that our Jewish community on campus holds. That included an event focused on LGBTQ plus community and allies through our Nice Jewish Queers Club. It included a meal with delicious shakshuka, which is a Middle Eastern Israeli food. It's really a time to welcome different communities and our broader community into meaningful celebration together.
Tonight, Hillel will host a sushi and sake event in the sukkah. On Thursday, there will be succulent making in the sukkah. Lastly, on Friday, Hillel will continue its weekly Shabbat ceremony, but it will take place in the sukkah this week.
You don't have to identify as Jewish to attend a Hillel event. We're fully open for anyone who wants to experience Jewish life, and it's what's most common is for Jewish students to welcome and invite and bring friends, roommates, classmates to gatherings, and it becomes a wonderful introduction to what we do.
For Annenberg Media, I'm Madeline Horowitz.
It's time for Match Volume, our segment featuring interviews with people doing exciting things in this big world of ours. Today, we have a preview of this week's segment. Host Natalie Joseph interviewed trans activist Lucky Alexander, covering the importance of community and advocacy for trans masculine people.
So my name is Lucky Alexander, and I'm a jack of all trades. I'm the founder of Invisible Men, which is an organization that supports trans men in many different ways. I work currently at the LA LGBT Center as the Information and Engagement Coordinator for Senior Services. So we work with seniors, helping them get plugged into benefits and so many other things. And I'm also a partial politician. So I sit on the Trans Advisory Council for LA City and West Hollywood, as well as the HIV Commission.
And so just in general, as a queer person, did you find yourself kind of like flocking to online spaces for community?
Not at all. And it wasn't so much for community. It was more because my previous life, I was a computer nerd. And so I'm really kind of burnt out on all the technology, but I was looking definitely for other spaces to link in with community, because as the trans community is a smaller subset of the general population, we often find ourselves, looking for spaces to commune in and be in community with each other, because for a lot of us, we don't have family. For a lot of us, we don't have that family support or that acceptance to be able to kind of live and breathe in those spaces.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, all of my queer friends kind of, I don't know if it's a generational thing, like having those spaces now, especially as like a young queer person, would be so key to just like finding yourself and being comfortable.
Right. I think that the youth definitely, may have brought me into the social media space. And I found it very necessary to be able to connect across states, across proximities. And so I think it has been a very important key piece, especially through all of the pandemic shutting us down, opening us up, shutting us down and whatnot. It was one consistent space that community could commune.
Yeah. And then tell me about Invisible Men. What kind of inspired you to start Invisible Men? And kind of where is it now?
Well, Invisible Men, one, like I said earlier, is a space to support transmasculine folks, whether you identify as trans male or transmasculine on the spectrum somewhere. We're here to support you. So we support in many different ways, but it began as a platform to allow trans men or trans masculine folks to tell their story of what their masculinity looks like, what does their transition look like, who are they as individuals, and how do they want to show up in the world. And so that was very important, because as a demographic, trans masculine folks quite often get left out of conversations that do pertain to us, like reproductive rights, fertility, all these different things that are often associated with femme-identified folks.
Check out the full episode this Friday on the Match Volume podcast on Apple, Spotify, and uscannenbergmedia.com. Our campus is more than just students and faculty. Here are the stories of humans of USC.
You pass by dozens of yellow jackets scattered across the area surrounding USC every day. But do you ever wonder what their typical day is like? The university contracts security ambassadors, commonly referred to as yellow jackets, because of their bright-colored attire. They patrol nearby communities with a 2.5-mile radius around the USC campus. However, we hardly know any detailed information about them. Yushuan Chen went to their stationed areas to find out more.
Zaya Bruang is a security ambassador. She guards different gigs depending on the day. She is guarding the west side of the campus and tells us about the typical duties of a yellow jacket.
We guard the perimeter of the campus, and we have some who guard the student housing that's off campus to make sure that students are safely going to and from school, and also going safely to work, to home, to their house. My job is to secure this gate right here.
The duties of the security ambassadors focus on the safety of students, especially if students face a dangerous situation. They act as a bridge between students and DPS during an emergency. In dangerous instances, Yolanda Randall says Yellow Jacket will connect to DPS and supervisors for more serious help.
That's my whole point of my job of me being a security guard here, is to help whatever that their need is, to fulfill the needs of the students and make sure that they are safe.
Shannon Fields is a shift supervisor for the Yellow Jackets.
If they come up to us and say, hey, I'm hurt and I can't get there, well, we'll use our radios to say, DPS, we have this student here that can't get to the other side of campus. Can you come and assist? So basically, we just help DPS with the student.
Yolanda Randall explains another one of her duties.
I am a traffic coordinator, which I control the traffic and which way everybody go, which way the cars go, so I can try to keep everybody safe so that we won't have no accidents and nobody, get hurt.
Zaya Brown says sometimes there are some sweet moments between the Yellow Jackets and students.
So when we first started this job, they gave us some maps so we can help the students navigate. And I helped this one girl find her music class, and every time I see her, we have this little inside joke about the music class.
Yolanda Randall says she understands how difficult life is for the homeless and feels a purpose in helping them.
That's something memorable for me because I was once there, homeless. So that's what a memorable story that I have, to share something that I didn't have before with somebody else that's going through something that I have went through.
Supervisor Shannon Fields' motivation is to provide for her children.
I don't know, because it's a lot of other people that don't have kids. That's just probably something for them to do just on a daily basis, or they have families to provide for. Yeah, so basically what we use ours is for just to make sure we provide for our families. So that's my drive, my family.
Ms. Hernandez is another supervisor. As a local resident who was born and raised in this area, she has a passion for helping people.
Being part of USC was a great opportunity to, provide great customer service and help the students, make sure everybody gets home safe. That was the big part, of me wanting to work for the school. And then it's just, I do enjoy being in security and helping others.
Next time, a yellow jacket helps you find your way to class. Remember to thank them for their service in helping to keep campus safe for all. For Annenberg Media, I'm Yixuan Chen.
And that's all we have time for on today's From Where We Are. Celine Mendiola, Aarohi Sheth, Spencer Cline, and Guerreiro produced today's show. We also got help from Gabrielle Horton and Billy Harrington.
Polina Cherezova is our technical operator, and Derek Renfro composed our theme music. We're also streaming live on KXSC. Follow KXSC at kxsc.org/listen, and on YouTube at Annenberg Radio News.
Subscribe to From Where We Are on Apple Podcasts, and if you're looking for more news, be sure to download Annie, Annenberg's news app. And follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Annenberg Media. I'm Jordan Sheldon.
And I'm Stefan Guardia. From all of us at Annenberg Radio, wherever you are, we hope you'll join us again for
From Where We Are.